Hey there, it's Aubrey Bracco from Survivor Co-Raw. Grab some giant clams, pick some mangoes, sit back and relax with Dwaine and Dave on Survivor Talk with D&D. With Survivor knowledge this tasty, we're sure you'll make it through the whole show, just as long as Mark the Chicken.
Welcome to Survivor Talk with D&D. I'm Dwaine, and I am with my best friend, David. Hello, David. How you doing?
Plenty of Survivor knowledge, but still learning how to put on a podcast.
Yeah, really. It's like I've been in the room ready to go for 35 minutes, and then I forgot to put the right link on the live page.
We forgot to record. We just do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, well, it's like I told somebody earlier this week. We're old. We're old, folks.
We are.
We're two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. We are a family-friendly show. You can listen to us at work. You can listen to us at home. You can listen to us in the box. You can listen to us with a fox. Tonight, we're talking about episode 9, Still Throwing Punches. And we're going to read, listen to, and discuss your thoughts on the show as well. We've got iTunes review. We've got the 21,000 giveaway. We've got the D&D challenge update. We've got Pondering Ponderosa. We're going to give away a buff. We're going to give away some stuff with the 21,000 giveaway. It's an exciting show, David. It's an exciting night the week before Thanksgiving.
It is.
It is.
This was one of those episodes that got better on the rewatch.
Yeah.
I almost hate watching it the first time because I know I'm going to rewatch it with a lot more
Enthusiasm.
focus and look for more things. Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Gotta have enthusiasm.
You know, I hate to admit, as a podcaster of the show Survivor, I'm enjoying watching the show because I enjoy the show, but I'm not like, oh boy, it's Survivor night. This season really is lacking a little bit for me, which I'll explain a little bit in my initial thoughts.
Okay.
Thank you for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing and supporting our shows. As you know, we have several. Movie Talk with D&D also, which we'll do a couple shows over the Christmas holidays. You can find them. I'm sorry. If you want a text message when we go live, you can text STWDD to 43506. That's right. But don't do it right now while you're driving. Stop. Put your phone down. Don't do it right now. Thank you for Text Signal, TXT Signal, for setting that up. You can find a link for them in the show description and, of course, here on the website. Check out our website, stwdd.com, for all of our Survivor Talk episodes. David, I went and looked. You can go all the way back to like episode 1 or even pre-episodes when I was blogging about it. Like David and I got our Plantronic microphones today. Stuff like that. It's pretty.
Yeah, we got our microphones and we can't wait to do podcasts with them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, blogs, we've got 2 great bloggers and they're always blogging like they're up within a couple of days, if not that night. Links to our amazing Facebook group, which we are almost at 900 members. I think we're 6 away as of last time I did that. I looked. Twitter and even links to other Survivor websites. You will find our other shows there as well, like Movie Talk. If you're one of the many watching live, thank you. Click the like button, whichever one it is, whichever side it's on. Click that like button. All right, David. Next week is a special week in the United States of America. And for those of you who don't know, Thanksgiving is only celebrated in the United States of America. It is not a worldwide holiday.
Yeah.
I have had people be surprised when I told them that. I really have.
When I went to Australia, we celebrated that. Well, you're American, and just because you're in another country.
But anyway, next week we're going to do something a little different. We are going to have a feedback show. And David's going to do it. And I'm going to edit it and put it out on Friday. But what's going to happen if I'm David, you want to take over? Because you might know more.
Well, it's going to be basically we're going to ask you to send in feedback for 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's a double episode.
Because it's a double episode. And me and my daughter Gracie are going to read the feedback and comment like Dwaine and I did a couple weeks ago, where we had so much great feedback. We really saved our recap for the feedback.
Right.
So Gracie's going to watch it. We'll probably rewatch it together because she'll be home. And then either late Thursday night or early Friday morning, she and I will read the feedback and just make our comments. So you get to meet Gracie. And if you've been listening since the beginning, I think you probably heard her once.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she and I will do it. So we'll have a female voice for a change.
Yes. And it won't be video. It'll all be audio. So I'll probably upload it to YouTube. It'll just have the episode graphic. It won't have anything else. But so it's going to be audio. I'll get their recording and then I will put in all your audio feedback. So David and Grayson won't talk about the actual audio. Oh, my computer just went to sleep. Don't do that, computer. Please. Please, computer. Hello. Okay. Whew, that was scary. You won't hear any of the he won't talk about the audio feedback. That'll go in post.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll mention it or maybe introduce it and then
I'll
add it in later.
I'll add it in. So you wouldn't.
And since it's it'll still be the same deadline, 7:00 Eastern time, Thanksgiving night.
Thanksgiving night. That's right. Right before you go shopping.
Not me.
I know. But
if we end up doing it Friday morning, I'll post something on Facebook that you got till midnight, but try to do it by 8:00 at least.
Yeah.
Wait for the Redskins to beat the Cowboys and then do it right after that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Redskins. I could dream.
No, they're not.
I'll be in a turkey coma anyway, so I won't even know how the game ends.
Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl this year. That's all I'm saying.
I think they're not going to be facing anybody that can beat them. I think. I think you got a good chance.
Yes, David Holdsworth. You can download the audio just like you normally do. Yep. I will.
It'll probably be my favorite video podcast.
Yeah, since David hates video podcast. In fact, you usually are dressed differently for
this. I know I was helping. Well, I wasn't painting because I hate painting as much as I hate the video part. But I know I just didn't throw it all together. I just moved this room in here, so I've got hats.
I'm sorry, but I'm still picturing you in that front room just because that's where I'm used to seeing you.
I know. I knew you would, but I've got 2 new hats on order. I can't wait for them to get here.
Yep.
Different color, of course, than the other ones. So we'll see. I don't even know what that one is.
All right. It is time to give away 2 Survivor Talk with D&D mugs. You can see one right up there. That's a green one, and on the back it has Survivor Talk with D&D, the white logo on it. We're going to give away 2. We are celebrating that this past October, we had our most downloads ever. We had 21,810 downloads. This month in November, we are on course to surpass even that. But I'm not giving away more mugs because they're, it costs me some money to do this. So
really,
yeah, like $20 for the mugs, and then I got to ship.
No, I mean like the downloads. Oh. I'm not worried about you spending money. I'm worried about the downloads.
So to celebrate, I told y'all a couple of weeks ago that if you sent me a postcard or a letter and wrote something nice on it, that I would enter you into the drawing. And we had 7 people that took me up on that.
Something nice. You guys are not idiots.
Yeah.
Something nice. That's all it took.
Yeah. The feedback on y'all's show is amazing. Yeah. So tonight we're going to draw from this list, and I am numbering them out loud so you can hear who has what number. Number 1, Angela Huggins, who wrote me a 6-page letter with it. It was basically a feedback for last episode, is what it was. Judy Howard is number 2. David Holdsworth, who sent 2 entries but only gets 1, and also gave me 2 dozen free eggs. Wow. Yeah, you know those, is it called golden best or best golden eggs or not golden? What are they called? David, what's the name of your company? Best Eggs? They're always the ones I never buy because they cost more than the Publix brand.
Wait a minute. You got free eggs?
No. Well, yeah, it's my contest. Sorry. And I had them tonight. I went out and got them. I think they're called Best Eggs. They're in the white carton, and each egg has a little BE stamped on it.
Here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Shut up. Anyway, I had scrambled eggs tonight thanks to David Holdsworth. Faith Schuler, Bart Labor, Faith's number 4, Bart's number 5, Julie Dorsey, number 6. And by the way, Julie laughs at my jokes even when David doesn't, she said. And then last but not least, Wendy Zell. So she's number 7. So Sari will pick a number between 1 and 7 if she's not being obstinate tonight. Oh, that's right. Eggland's Best. That's the brand name of the eggs. Go buy some. So I was telling Connie tonight, I go, I'm going to tell everybody that David gave me free eggs. She goes, no, you're not. I go, why not? She goes, because that's free advertising. Don't you get like $30 an episode? I say, Connie, Eggland Best doesn't need our advertising.
I was going to say, you actually paid by getting the mug.
Yeah.
So we paid for the
I'm actually paying for that advertising. Yeah, way to go. Oh,
wait a minute, where's my coupon? He said coupon. I don't think he was going to tell me about the coupons there, Dave.
Well,
I think he was going to keep that to himself.
I'm sorry, but David lives in Virginia and I live in Athens and I handle the post office box. So, David, I ain't spending 90 cents to send you some coupons.
I see how this is.
Uh-huh. All right, here we go. Give me a random number between 1 and 7 or I will throw you on the floor.
Let's see. Okay, I found this on the web for random.
You know, sometimes Siri makes me mad. If I just keep it simple, it wouldn't be difficult. Give me a random number between 1 and 7.
It's 1.
Number 1, the winner is Angela Huggins.
Did you number them in the order that came in?
Yeah, I just gave you all the numbers.
But I mean, was that the first come, first serve? That's awesome.
No, that's
Get
not
it
how
in
I
first.
did it. She was actually
That's
the last one I got.
well, the last shall be first. There you go.
All right, Angela. Just in fact, she even told me what color mugs she wants, so I will get those ordered tonight and send them off to David and then sign them. So.
Have you finished your Christmas shopping? Well, don't be like David and Dwaine and wait till the last minute to get it done. Do it now and use their Amazon link when you do. Not only will you get all your Christmas shopping done, but you'll also be helping support these guys and their great podcasts. So always use stwdd.com/Amazon when you start your shopping. Or make it even easier and just use the link on their website. Now, back to D&D.
That's right.
So did you put in the notes? Because when you tell them how, just make sure you sound disgusted with David and Dwaine when you talk about how they're late shoppers.
That's right.
Make sure you're not happy. Represent their wives.
I am
and
a
say
late
how
shopper.
upset you are.
Yeah.
Dude,
By the way,
I'm as late as they come.
Somebody was asking me, actually, I think it's in one of our feedback, but I'll go ahead and mention it. Miriam was saying how she gets confused on how to use our link on her phone or whatever. The easiest way is just go to our website on your phone and hit the Amazon link. I mean, that's easier. I mean, for me, it's easier just to type in stwdd.com/Amazon, but you can always just go to our website and hit the link. It's on Facebook too. It's in the pinned post. There you go. Always easy. Always, always easy. It's time for So episode 9, David, it is the first episode after the merge. Usually a pretty fun episode. I have some initial thoughts. I have several, so I want to say one first, unless you have a lot.
Only have a couple.
If I'm on a stump at Tribal and Taylor tries that, I'm seeing right through it. I'm sorry. I was not impressed at all with what Taylor and Jay tried to pull off. To me, they looked like desperate young kids, that were trying to, I mean, you know, all the laughing and everything. It's the typical, if I say it, it's true. And if I say it enough, it's true, you know? And I would have seen right through that. And I'm pretty sure most everybody did. It may still hurt Adam because he held something back, but still, they didn't plan it very well. They could have had a much more effective sabotage of Adam's game if they had done it differently.
It's in the real world, it's innocent until proven guilty. In Survivor, it's guilty until you prove yourself innocent, which is extremely hard to do.
Well, that in politics.
Because true.
You can pretty much say anything and that's true. Yeah.
That's a good point about that, because that was one of my thoughts in that I think Taylor would have been more effective if he had just said, well, while we're on the subject and I know I'm in trouble, I'll let you guys know before you vote me out. Adam has an advantage.
Yeah.
And nothing else. Don't say what his advantage is. Make him say it. And if he doesn't want to say it, that looks worse on him.
Right.
So just leave it with Adam has an advantage.
Yeah.
You know, we always talk about, instead of going into the, like you said, make it worse, make it lie about what happened with the eating and the digging and stuff. And that's just frustrating. Poor Adam.
Yeah.
Nobody's on Adam's side, you know, but Taylor's got Jay and this and the other. That was kind of frustrating.
Yeah. And, you know, like no longer was it he has an advantage. He has a loved one's advantage.
Yeah, specific.
Right.
Well, Adam, you gave him that thought. You put that thought in his head by telling him that.
Yeah. He has a loved one advantage, and he got the shovel and dug me the hole after he ate the half of it.
He picked out the mason jars.
Yes.
He put the dream in my head that made me want to do that.
Yes.
Now,
anyway,
let me ask you this. My thought again, and last week I was wondering why I was yelling at Adam to play the idol because I thought he might have been in trouble. But this week I'm thinking, you know what, Adam? Pull it out, show it to him, and throw it in the fire.
The advantage?
Yes. What the only thing that's good for is to either give it away or throw it away.
Right.
I mean, it's you're only going to shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
You know, especially for the loved one visit. Stand up, say, you know what? I do have an advantage, and I brought it tonight because I was going to get rid of it. Since
no, David, it's smarter to say, if you don't like my advantage, vote me out.
You know, that should be rule number one. If you don't like the way I play, vote me out. And then after Pups gives you the look, you say, can we edit that out? Can you guys can the jury forget they heard that, please?
Yeah.
Wipe that, please.
Oh.
Strike that from the testimony.
My second initial thought, then we'll do one of yours. This season needs a villain. We don't have a villain at all. So, and I'm not saying that I like it when people are mean and horrible, but I mean, it's a whole bunch of kumbaya out there, you know?
Yep.
No one
that feeds it. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's just no one's really. I mean, even Jay, when he's on the bottom, is still, you know, not being a villain. Come on, do something.
And you don't have to be mean to be a villain.
No.
You just got to do something underhanded, but within the aspect of the game. Yeah. And it's funny that you brought this up. That's a good point, because I was talking to somebody at after choir practice, and he said, we're talking about situations and scenarios. This was probably a week ago. And we're just talking and talking. He's like, "Oh, what would you do underhanded? You know, what would you do, you know, mean that wouldn't make you be evil because you're not an evil person?" I said, "Well, here's a thought. If I want Dwaine, I'll use you. If I want Dwaine gone, I'm going to take someone that I trust or I need support with, and I'm going to say, I'm going to pour out my water jug, and I'm going to pour out their water jug, and I'm going to tell them that I saw Dwaine handling our water jugs or handling mine."
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say, "Can I have a sip of yours before we go into the event?" And they realize theirs is empty. Just plant a seed. You know, you don't have to burn anything. You don't have to break anything. Just plant a seed. And Dwayne's going to come back and deny it like Adam. But I saw you messing with my water jug, man. I don't know what else to think. I didn't empty it out. So, you know, it's not about being evil or the worst person in the world. It's about doing something. But I think that's coming. I think there are some seeds in this episode that lead us to think or to expect some things are coming. So I kind of like this episode. We kind of got a sneak peek at the corner of the package.
Right.
I felt like with this episode.
Right.
But one of my first reactions to this episode was this was Survivor by the numbers. Don't ruffle any feathers yet. Don't make any waves. Just go with the group. And it's kind of what we've been talking about earlier on. Why are you going to throw a big wrench into it? Why are you going to play an idol and mess up the core alliance? Why are you going to vote out this one person you shouldn't vote out? Just go with the group for right now. And this kind of was one of those episodes. Kind of you get what you're asking for.
Right.
You know, Sunday was the only one that brought up a move that I think is going to come up later. And I think her play in this episode was important, which I saw more in the second time of rewatching. But this was just kind of it kind of went down. It kind of the fire looked hot, but it wasn't hot after all. It was just a calm finish.
Yeah. This was, you know how I always complain about people acting like they know who's going home the whole episode based on the edit and all this kind of stuff. The whole time I'm okay. Taylor's going home. Taylor's going home.
Yeah.
You know, so
they were almost making it too obvious to the point where, yes, he is going to go home.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, it's not like Michaela wasn't a villain, but she was more interesting. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we need more Michaelas, and they got rid of Michaela. Anyway. All right. Why don't you tell me one of your initial thoughts?
For the second week in a row, David gets credit for the boot.
Mm.
Last week he said Michelle was the safe vote out.
Uh-huh.
This week he said we got to split the vote.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of votes, what's going on with Will?
Why?
First of all, why did Will sit out a challenge? He must have felt really safe. But secondly, why did Will vote for Jay? He voted for.
I guess that's what they told him to do. They were splitting the votes.
That's my point. Who is they?
Well,
the other group.
Oh,
so
yeah,
he's
right.
talking to he would talk to Jay, and Jay would say, because this was really good at the end when Sunday went back to Jay and was smart and said, look, we can't make a move right now. They're too stuck on you and Taylor. So it's you or Taylor. Yeah. So throw your vote at Taylor. Tell Will to throw his vote at Taylor to make sure Taylor gets more than you. Yeah. You're safe. Because she doesn't know about the idol yet. We presume until next week. So throw your votes at Taylor. Jay would have told Will to throw his vote at Taylor.
Yeah.
Jay threw it. Will, but unless Will got them mixed up, which guy was which. But Will's supposed to be close with Jay. So I wonder if Jay finds out that Will voted for him. I like to know why Will voted for Jay.
Well, if I'm Will, I'm voting for one of those two guys because they're the ones going home, right?
Yeah, but if
why stay on the
he's not
sinking
close
boat?
to Taylor. I agree, but vote for Taylor. He's not close with Taylor. He's close with Jay. Jay's got an idol. You don't want your buddy with an idol going home, but you just voted for him.
Yeah. Okay.
So Will's talking to somebody.
Speaking of Will, did you know he can only have soft drinks?
Not in Fiji, but
I don't know if that was adequately relayed to us this week. But Will, you can only have soft drinks. Okay.
It's been posted a couple times. I didn't figure that out.
What?
I'm just sorry. The chat room is so distracting because it's so interesting.
Stop reading it.
Jeff Pittman brought it up, and I think somebody else brought it up too, that in Fiji, 18 is the legal drinking age. But the fact that it was brought up so much to me is Probst reaching out to a younger generation, saying, "Here's a guy you can relate to. Here's a guy that can't drink." I'm sorry, but to me, it just sounds like a pitch to get younger people to watch.
But he didn't do it with a Baylor and other young people in the past.
Well, there might not have been alcohol. It seems like alcohol suddenly come back. We haven't had alcohol for a while, I don't think. Yeah. Maybe we haven't. I just didn't notice it.
Yeah. Oh, well. So this is all I'm going to say about this. I'm sure everyone has plenty of reasons to agree with me. But I was sitting there watching the episode, and my wife goes, "That is the ugliest immunity necklace I have ever seen." And I said, "I agree." And then we proceeded to talk about it. But we're not going to talk about it here on this show because we're family friendly.
So take that for what you take it to mean.
That's right.
Yeah, I want to talk about Probst being a player hater when we get to tribal council.
Okay. Do you have any more? Do you have any more initial thoughts?
Cover that. I also liked last one, and it just kind of hit me the second time through. We talked about David's story arc. I think Hannah is on a little bit of a story arc. I liked her the change, the turn that she got in this episode. Mm-hmm. We look for edits, and I'll tell you one other thought that I did have. When's the last time somebody won a big immunity, and didn't have one confessional in the entire episode?
Did he even talk?
Guess who's not winning this season?
That's right.
Okay, just wanted to say that out there.
Well, that's the truth. I mean, Ken's like Mr. Quiet.
He is, but when you listen to his confessional, because I had time this afternoon, I watched early as soon as I get home, and then my Google account gets all the YouTube launches when they drop videos, CBS. So I just click on all the emails and I get right to the videos. And his after the reward and the food. Now you listen to Sunday, and she's on a food high from food, hamburgers, and drinks to French fries and everything else you got to eat. And they had ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise. I mean, she's talking about everything. And then you get Ken after Sunday's so excited. Ken talks about how it was good and we got to eat, and it was I'm like, yeah, he's just not lighting a fire on anybody's confessional booth. But anyway,
yeah.
One confessional.
I actually have some, we're going to get to the reward challenge, the reward. And I got some stuff to say. What do you call a deer with no eyes?
Unendearing.
I have no idea.
That was an initial thought. You were so bored with the episode, you came up with a joke, or you remembered that joke.
Did you hear about the annoying pepper?
No.
He gets all up in your face.
Are these for Will? Are these Will jokes? They're
Well,
underage jokes.
Since he can't have alcohol, I gave him some jokes.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right. Night 23. Where is my mouse? There it is. Night 23. Jay is complaining that the other millennials are idiots and that they're going to be destroyed by the Gen Xers. Did you hear that? Did you hear him say that?
I did. And it's funny that everything Jay's done is coming back to haunt him.
Yeah.
And one of his first lines is, I just lost my most trusted alliance member. No, you lost her when you voted her out a couple weeks ago. Now you've lost another one. And he's so high and then he's so low the next morning or the next. But to me, that's Jay not being aware of what's going on, because Hannah and Adam and Zeke are close to everybody. There's a great confessional about Zeke. I put it on our Facebook group. He is close to everybody. And he said, even after Michelle vote, everybody still trusts him except Taylor, which he obviously didn't care about. But even from the beginning, he talked about how much he liked Jay. So he's still talking to Jay.
Yeah.
He's still talking to Will. He got to talk to Will at the immunity challenge. So to me, Jay is just not aware. He really thought Hannah was in his pocket.
Yeah.
But I like Jay. He's trying, but it's like he's not using all of his brain. He's only using the part that goes along with his plan. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really know what to do when things aren't going quite right. There's not a lot of improvisation going on.
And he might be better with a support team.
Yeah.
Like his Triforce. He was really in a good spot then, and now he's fighting for himself.
Yeah.
What happens this week? Nothing in his favor except somebody comes to him.
Yeah.
Later on. So
yeah, you noticed when his game started going downhill when he announced himself as the kingpin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Chris is happy. Apparently he's in more control now. That's about all we got of that. But
yeah, remember we talked a while back about him backing off after the merge?
Yeah.
And now this is kind of him. He mentioned he wants to see votes happen so that it shows he's got a little influence. And I think this is where that's stemming from. He feels more traction, but he's still scared of people who are floating in the middle like Adam. So I think he feels he can trust Zeke, but Adam and probably Hannah are people that he probably sees floating in the middle.
Yeah. So we get Taylor talking to Adam, and they both agree they're not going to share each other's secret. Okay.
But before that, Jay says to Taylor, how did this happen, dude?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Taylor's like, even I know how it happened. They
Yeah.
voted with them, but only so many people you can trust in this game. And once they're gone, it sucks. And he's like, yeah, we trusted Adam. Yeah, but you had somebody that you trusted 2 weeks ago that you let go. So all your moves are coming, all the moves that Jay comes up with. And I like Jay, but it seems like all the moves he comes up with are it's rest, not rust. All the moves are coming back to bite him,
Yeah.
So it's a learning thing.
Sorry.
But like Adam says, being at the bottom of Gen X is better than being out of the game.
That's
'Cause
right.
You can't fight back from Ponderosa.
Right.
You can fight back if you're still on the beach.
Yeah. Now I got to text my wife, tell her come up here and fix that. Because it does look like rust. It says rest, y'all. That says rest, not rust. Why don't you talk about Taylor? Well, Taylor eating. Okay, props to Taylor. If you can get away with hiding half the food, good for you, unless you get caught.
Which he did.
Yeah, but still, good for you.
The funny thing is he still goes off and eats it like he's hiding from them when Brett called him out at the last tribal council for doing it. So everybody knows, but then we get Taylor theorizing about he feels he has the leverage on Adam. Yeah. So which is worse to have, an advantage that somebody knows about or have the reputation of a food thief? Because even he says stealing food was my best idea.
Yeah.
He's stealing food from people that are hungry. I still don't understand how everybody knows and they haven't gone and found him and taken it back. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So he feels like he's got a better advantage, that Adam has an advantage. He's got a better leverage because of knowing about Adams. And I still think the worst move, no matter who you vote out, Adam trying to trust Taylor was just the worst. you could possibly do. And you know what?
Adam's too ADHD. Oh, here comes my wife. Yes, it does. It looks like rust.
That's how you write an E.
I know, but
it's from a distance.
From a distance, everybody in chat room is saying that Jesus will give us rust. So it's this part right here. See, if you did that, it would look like an E.
No, it wouldn't. It looked like an L.
Make the E fatter. The top O of the E, make it fatter.
All right. Give you what?
The thing to write with.
Oh, here it is. By the way, doesn't my wife do a great job on my chalkboard?
She does. I mean, very artistic.
It looks really awesome.
So here's the thing about Adam.
Okay.
I like Adam. You like Adam. We both like Adam.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Well, I'm starting to not like his gameplay very much.
I like how smart he is. But one thing about him that I don't like, well, actually, there's a couple things. And this is not an Adam bashing, because later it's going to feel like a Taylor bashing. But when we get to Potters. But this is not Adam bashing. But one thing about Adam is he doesn't laugh. Everything is serious.
I know.
That's one thing people like about Taylor and Jay is they laugh.
Yes.
I love people that smile. That's why I like Michelle. When she finishes a sentence, she smiles.
Right.
I like people that smile. I loved Brett in this episode. He was hilarious.
If you're going to insult somebody, smile while you're doing it and maybe laugh.
And I don't know if he works with people that are deaf or have to read lips, but when someone talks to me and is always talking in a way that they want to make sure I understand everything they say, it's going to get on my nerves and it's going to get irritating. And there's one more thing.
Yeah.
It's totally gone now.
Connie's really thinking, like,
just write an E.
Connie.
No idea. Okay.
What is she waiting for?
She's like, how am I going to make it an E? It doesn't look like a U. I don't know, babe.
So for those not watching, the verse on Dwayne's chalkboard at the end says, I will give you rest. But the E looked kind of thin to the people watching on the video, and it looked like I will give you rust.
Well, it was the tail of the E was so long and it went so high that it looked more like a U than an E.
Oh, so. Which I don't understand, because there's a U right there, and that's what a U looks like.
Well, anyway,
the last thing about
Giant Ninja to bring that up in the chat room. Thanks.
Yeah. The last thing about Adam is listening to him talk to Taylor in the dark about keeping secrets. It reminded me of one of my least favorite actors.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson. Because he talked just like Owen Wilson in that scene. And it's just that scene. And I like Adam. I love how smart he is. He's a super fan. And like Taylor says, Adam knows who lost what season. He knows what challenges were which. Adam talks about strategy and past strategy.
Right.
And that's what Adam talked about. Too much strategy talk, not enough social talk.
Right.
And to me, Adam's got to relax and he's got to smile. And he just doesn't do that enough. And I think that's what got to some people. That's what made them not trust him. If you don't ever smile and laugh, people aren't going to trust you.
Okay. The chat room, Connie, is full of advice for you, by the way. So here, let me make sure that my screen stays up. So is everybody happy with the E in rest now?
Can we get a vote, please?
Yeah. Well, some people say you need to do a capital E. Some people say make it a backwards 3. Stuff like that. So
sorry, Mary. Owen's been in some good movies, but he is not one of my. He's one.
I actually liked it better the other way, but I agree.
I like the other way better.
But you know what, Connie? It's important. But we don't want people thinking. No, what are you doing now?
Because I'm not happy with
it. Looks good.
She's still not happy with it. She's gonna redo it.
Taylor Will says I miss Rust.
Yeah, Will says I miss Rust.
Backwards 3.
Will like the idea of a God giving us rust when we are labored and heavy laden.
Okay.
All right. Let's go back to
so where are we?
Day 24.
Yes. Day
24. Jay talks with Hannah, and this where we get a little bit of Hannah.
Love this.
Go ahead. Talk about it.
I love it because Hannah says, I don't want to play with people who are just taking me along and treating me like a future goat. I want to play with people that I'm going to play with. I want to play the game. She's been playing the game for the last 48, 72 hours, and she loves it. She's become addicted to it. She sees things now that she can make maneuvers without making big flips or big giant moves. She can still make moves that she can add to a resume. And I love that. She was honest with him, and that's what people need.
Don't, just because I laugh doesn't mean you have to look at the chat room. Stop it. People are going to stop. We're going to get an iTunes review. That would be a great show if they didn't have a chat room. So that looks great, Connie.
And now who's distracting from the
Will
show?
give us reet.
Okay. So you're going to get in trouble. Anyway.
All right.
Anyway, I liked it. I
Thanks,
liked it. Hannah was honest.
Yeah.
If anything, if Jay's on the jury and he hears that, he's going to say, wow, she made a move to go the other way.
Uh-huh.
And then he said he was proud of her. I'm like, dude, if you pat her on the head, she should smack you because you're not her big brother, but it's okay to, I mean, how would you take that with, if you finally stopped, drinking Monster and I said, Dwaine, I'm proud of you. I mean, would you take that as a little condescending or would you take that as my buddy's proud of me?
I would take it as, if you're proud of me, why didn't you tell me a long time ago that I shouldn't be drinking Monster? So I wouldn't really think of it as condescending.
Yeah.
It'd be more like, really? Like, you never said anything about it before. Why are you saying it now? That's
so. Am I okay being a little irked that he said he was proud of Hannah for making a making a move?
Yeah, in that setting, that's a little different than I stopped drinking Monster drinks. Yeah, that's like, I'm proud of you. I didn't think you could do that, but you could.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. That's kind of what I got. He may not have meant it that way, but I kind of took it that way, and I'm like, Hannah, vote him out next.
I like what she said. Hey, look, I basically didn't want to be a goat with you guys, and that's kind of what I was.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Then after all that, we finally got the short intro, and we go back to the reward challenge. Unless you got something else for the reward challenge.
No, let's go.
I thought it was a decent challenge, except that the hardest part was like in the middle. So once you get past pushing the 200-pound box through the net, you're pretty much the winner. Because that was such a hard part of it.
Oh, yeah,
there really is no catching up.
I didn't like how you had to have one of two people, and one person was a captain.
Yeah,
there was two people that needed to be split up, and one of them was like, but Hannah talks afterwards about why she picked the team she did, and in a secret scene, extra scene, she talks in more detail about how she really wanted to. So here's what I'm picturing. I don't know who went first, and I don't know if they went 1, 2, 2, 2, whatever. So let's guess that Chris went first. Chris picks who? You think Ken?
Man, I don't know. I'm not going to try to figure that out.
Ken or Brett. And then Hannah takes Jay.
Yeah, because she wanted Jay and Will.
Right. And then Chris takes Taylor to break up Jay and Will. And then she takes Will. And then he takes Brett. He's got Ken, Taylor, and Brett if he picked first, while she's got Jay and Will, two of the skinniest guys out there.
Right.
So she was thinking strategically, and she kind of got what she wanted out of it. She got conversation back at camp later, even though with no food.
Right.
And lost by a mile.
Right.
But anyway.
Well, okay. So you kind of jumped a little ahead from where I was wanting to talk, but I don't mind that as long as we get to go back to it. So,
I always make you go back. So yeah, take us back.
So, Chris's team was obviously the better team. Hannah, I kind of like what you're saying about how it probably happened. She was so concentrating on getting Jay and Will closer that she missed out on the good guys,
Yeah.
So
she goes into detail in that scene of how I really picked an awful team.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So back to the challenge itself. The challenge itself is one of those challenges where there comes a point where you can't catch up. Technically, if they're just horrible throwing those little bolos, but seriously, that wasn't very hard. So it's kind of like the difference between watching a football game and watching a baseball game. A baseball game isn't over until that last out. A football game is over anywhere from 4 minutes left to, a quarter left, and this kind of felt like a football game that was over at halftime, because it was so lopsided. And once you got through the net, you were home free. Yeah. So anyway,
I know. I imagine Taylor missing 3 or 4 and Probst in editing saying, you know what, just show it like you made all 5. We don't need to spread this game out. It went by so fast.
Yeah. So who got the last confessional?
Hannah did. She got her short explanation of why she wanted to keep them close. She admits it was terrible, but it could serve a purpose later. The best part of the challenge for me, and I'm going to be deadly serious here.
All right, deadly serious.
was Hannah's comments after Probst's comments.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Probst says, Chris, turns out picked a great team. And then she looks at Jessica and says, okay, I'm not going to be a sports captain ever. I'll never be picking a team. And then he says, Orange still trying, but is it too little, too late? And she goes, yeah, they're done. Put her on a microphone for the rest of the season.
I love her. She is so fun. Yeah. Do you think Adam could have stolen this reward for his team?
Yes. That's the good question. Where would that come in? To be honest, if it's me, I don't steal it because I don't know the ramifications. Am I stealing it by myself? Am I stealing it for my team? I don't know if it says that. I'm sure it said that. Did it say it for your team?
Well, it says on the script that you not only become the winner, but you get to pick the people that go with you.
See, that's different.
Yeah, I know. So did it specifically say you can steal an individual reward? If it did, then he couldn't have used it. I don't remember.
Well, maybe Mike K knows. He's in the chat room now. But but in this situation, if it's your team, there's no point in stealing it because you're going to go with your team to camp or with your team on rewards. You still get to talk because the thing about a separate reward is you get to talk to people. Yeah. That's the whole purpose of rewards. Winning a reward is getting to talk to people. So in this situation, if you have to take the whole team, well, I know there's food too, but if you had to take the whole team, you're basically, kind of throwing away the advantage.
Well, no, what I was doing well about was unless you're the team that won reward this time. Yeah. Because they did absolutely nothing but get drunk and swim.
Some of them, not all.
But there was no talk. There was no strategy talk at all.
I wonder if that's what Sunday was looking down about on the side of the pool. I kind of wanted to talk about the game, and they're over there drinking and partying. And
the most exciting thing that happened at the reward was Brett getting a little tipsy.
And he had a drink in the pool. So they left the table and the bartender thought he was done. He was cleaning up and Brett goes, another one.
What happened to please shower before getting in the pool? Don't you know they had to clean that stuff? By the way, I've seen, that was a 2-pound burger minimum.
Oh my goodness.
That thing was 2 inches thick.
I can't even describe how big it was. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody called it a meatloaf in one of their confessionals. I don't know if it was Sunday or who, but she talked about the food and it was like she called it a meatloaf.
I've never seen a burger that thick.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get a little bit of Sunday wanting to get control of the game. Interesting that CBS has decided to start showing us Sunday talking about doing something. So
this is peeling the corner of the gift, peeling the wrapper on the corner of the gift. To me, this is planting a seed for something in the future. There's obvious something because later she says I voted for Jess, and she's going to remember that.
Yeah.
But I guess they're kind of cordial, but they're not fully cordial. But I also think this was in there to help us throw off the scent that Taylor was going home.
Yeah.
They had to give us an alternative. Would it be Jay or Taylor? But I guess they wanted to add more to it. Maybe it was just a done deal. Maybe this really was a by the numbers episode and there wasn't a whole lot of scrambling to work going on. Yeah. But somebody's got to make a move. You got 3 blocks of 3, and then you got these 3 over here. One of them's about to be gone. Then you're going to have 2. So if somebody wants to make a move at some point, either 2 of the 3s have to get together or somebody needs to steal one of those people over there. And Jay having an idol, Jay could become a hot commodity next week. Right. Because they could say, hey, I'll tell you who's going, and I'll tell you when it's you, and you play your idol, which we now know about thanks to Will, and then you stay and we take over.
Okay, this is my prediction. I don't, and I hope I'm wrong because I don't. Well, anyway.
And if you are, I'm going to talk about it next week for like half an hour.
I don't think they're showing us Sunday talking about playing the game because she's actually going to start playing the game. I think they're showing us that to set us up for next week's divide because she wants Jessica gone and they needed to get some foundation set for that. I don't really think Sunday's going to all of a sudden start playing a strategic game, and they haven't showed us it the whole season.
Yeah.
So I think it's just editing.
Right. Yeah. I think it's introducing people that could be leaving the game.
Yeah.
Coming up soon.
By the way,
Derek's got a question.
Oh, I was about to address that. Go ahead.
Okay. Derek asks, hang on, people, you're going up too far.
He said, would there ever be a time that either of you would actually use this advantage? Well, people in the game for any reason, I would have burned that thing in front of everyone. And David, you already answered this.
If I'm by myself and I'm the last one of my group and there's 5 other people and one of us wins an advantage where 3 go and 3 don't, and I don't win reward and I'm by myself, the other 4 have already told me you're gone. The other 5 have already said you are gone. You're it. There's no breaking us up. I would steal the reward if I lost it with 6 people, six people, and I would take the 2 people I felt were on the bottom of that alliance and feed them and talk to them for hours trying to break them up. That is but I would never, ever tell anybody about that reward advantage.
Right.
It's like Jessica. I hope she didn't hurt herself by telling Ken about her advantage.
Right.
But I would never tell anybody about that.
Okay.
But you know, something else Taylor should have done. He should have said Adam had an idol. He told me he had an idol. Why are you going to lie about it now, Adam? You know, throw more shade on him. Don't reveal everything, but throw more shade. Go ahead.
All right. So I don't believe, to answer Derek's question from my perspective, I don't think you should just arbitrarily throw away an advantage, because you don't know. There may be a situation that you are faced with that it's good to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to still have it. However, as David said at the beginning of the podcast, as soon as I got called out on it in front of the entire tribal council, that advantage would have been better used to throw it in the fire right then.
Right. To gain trust.
Right. So yeah, I'm still using that advantage. I'm just using it in that way by throwing it in the fire, but I wouldn't just arbitrarily throw out an advantage. So there you go. All right. Back at camp, we got Jay talking to Adam, and I think Adam just talks too much. He explains too much, and he doesn't know when he's talked and explained too much. And he says things so matter of fact. And as you said earlier, without a smile or without laughter, that he is just getting on everyone's nerves.
Yeah.
He left Jay feeling like Adam was rubbing it in his face, and Adam probably didn't feel like he was rubbing it in his face. He was just quoting the facts. Yeah, you're on the bottom.
Yeah, being very factual.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Some people don't like being talked to like that. So that's kind of where I see Adam.
And I'm gonna keep going back to Zeke in this confessional I posted in our Facebook group. It has to do with building relationships. Actually, Brett has a good confessional. Every relationship is important. And he talks about how he's close to Sunday, not as close to Jess. And this comes down to Adam's relationship with Jay versus Hannah's relationship with Jay. Jay went over there and patted Hannah on the back.
Right.
He said, you did awesome. I'm proud of you for making that move. Whereas with Adam said, I had to go with the best group that gave me the best chance of staying in the game. And then Jay brings up, well, yeah, you're at the bottom. Kind of obvious that you're at the bottom. You know, he may have even ended by saying, what do you want to do about it? Is there anything we can do to do it? Because going to Taylor was the worst move, but going to Jay is a possible move. But then did Jay come back and make it worse than it was? Did he come? Because coming back to Will, he pretty much said, man, he hurt me. He stabbed me. He threw dirt in my face. He threw sand in my eyes. And he said he pretty much rubbed it in my face that I was on the bottom. I feel so down. And Will's like, what did he say?
Yeah.
You know, what exactly did he say? Man, he called him a bad name.
Yeah.
And right in front of Hannah and Zeke. How fortunate was that they were sitting right there? And then they chime in with, yeah, we know who Adam is.
I can confirm this, David. That did happen on the show.
There you go. So now everybody's going to believe it because I said it and you confirmed it.
That's what she said.
She
Zeke made a
can
comment. She's like, I can confirm that.
Zeke said that before Tribal Council 3 days ago at 6:59. The camera told me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's smart on Jay if he's trying that because they're building Adam up to be blindsided, I think, at some point.
Yeah.
People keep talking about it. Chris mentioned him. Zeke now has mentioned it with Jay. So, but Zeke made a great point. The empathy. You've got to take care of the people on the bottom.
Yeah.
You don't ever point out that they're on the bottom and walk away from them. You got to talk to them like, if you ever want to talk, or if there's something we want to work out, let me know. Do it with everybody, but you got to do it in private and you got to do it smart.
Yeah.
But you just got to be able to read people.
Yeah. Back to Adam really quickly. I feel like if he were to play again, he would play it differently because he'd recognize that he to me, I just think he's almost like too excited about the game, that he's so excited that he's kind of overdoing it.
Yes. He keeps saying that every episode, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Come over playing. Right. I think it's like being on a game high instead of a food high. It's like a game high that you're playing everything to the nth degree, and then afterwards you realize, man, did I say too much? Was I really talking to Taylor? Did I just tell Taylor about my advantage?
Yeah. He's almost become what we thought David was going to be, and David's kind of chilling out and learning how to play.
Oh my gosh, David's like in a barca lounger. Yeah. He's of course he's also in a very strong position.
Yeah. So all right. So anyway, day 25, amazing sunrise. Wow.
And it looks like they all want to see it. They all get up and just stare at it.
Well, I mean, oh my gosh, it was gorgeous. That's one thing I'm looking forward to on my cruise that I'm going on in January. Seeing a sunrise or in a sunset on a boat. I think that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know. So, and if they turn out all the lights, what I'm hoping is, which I used to always think if I went on a cruise that I'd be able to see like the night sky, like I can never see the night sky. But I bet there'll be so many lights on the boat I won't be able to. So
I don't know. I've never been on a cruise.
So, well, way to go, Mark. Mark has to take all the joy out of the sunrise. I'm not even going to repeat what you said, Mark. God.
But it showed. You know what? Let's put a coloring in front of the camera lens.
All right, stop it.
It's early morning.
It was a beautiful sunrise, and that's all there is to it. At some point in the history of this world, that was a beautiful sunrise.
Yes.
Sunday. Oh my gosh. Did you notice Sunday looked directly at the camera?
No, when was this?
She was working on her lip. She was going like this, and she looked at the camera and then looked at Brett.
Oh,
it was really. I was like, oh my gosh, Connie, look. So because usually,
I did not see that.
Usually by day 25, the camera's like not even there. You know, they're like, okay, yeah, that's like the wall in my house. You know, don't run into it. So anyway, Sunday and Brett talking about how she couldn't connect with Jessica. She wants to talk to Jay. And anyway, she ends up being the one that lets Jay and Taylor know what's going down and how it's going down. Did you also notice that a fly landed on Will's face and he didn't move?
Yes, it was very.
I think he's a robot.
With that voice, yeah, they've just turned it up. We forgot to turn up his voice.
Yes,
but so this is where we start to see in the seasons where it's going to be this person, then 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 final five. At some point, one of those final fives got to go to one of those people that's getting booted and say, "Hey, you want to do something different?
Mm-hmm.
You want to?" And what is this? Why is Sunday able to go to Jay? Because while they were on Ichabula, Sunday made a relationship with Jay, and now Jay is willing to listen to her. And I loved later on when she goes to him and she asks him, even though he has no power and no control, she says, "What name are you thinking?" And he says, "Whatever name you tell me to put down."
Right.
It's not me. Yep. So, but this comes from making relationships, Adam. This comes from being positive with people and listening to people and having conversations with people about things other than Survivor. And I only say that because Taylor mentioned in one of his exit interviews that Adam just talks strategy. If he's not talking strategy, he's talking past Survivor seasons. And that gets annoying after a while, I would think.
Right.
If you don't just talk about that, I'm sure Adam talked about something else with somebody. But if that's all you're talking about with the person who's on the bottom that you're trying to actually keep a connection with, you got to talk beaches and waves or mountains and snow. Yeah. You got to make up something,
Yeah.
But
need some downtime from the game.
Yes, exactly. You need to be able to step away.
Yeah. All right. So immunity challenge, stand on a narrow beam while balancing a ball on a bow. And this is what I'm saying. There's no way I could win this. So I would proclaim this very loudly. Y'all, it's not that I think I'm safe, but I know I'm not going to win this. So I'm going to eat. And I would eat.
So at the final tribal council, this was a long 39 days. This was tough. I fought the whole time. Dwaine fought too, except for that challenge that he sat out and ate those ham and cheese sandwiches and the chips. But otherwise, he played a good game too.
Yeah, and I sat out so that I would be stronger. And that's why I'm here at the end with you.
Well, I carried you. You're my goat. Didn't
No, you
know
did not. You didn't carry me.
Nobody likes you.
No.
You don't laugh.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Well, you call Probst the boogerhead.
And he smiled. Probst likes me, dude. Come on, dude. It's brolicious. Come on.
Yeah. So anyway, I would have sat out. If there's no way I can win the challenge, I'm going to sit out.
Well, I tell you who shouldn't sit out is the people that just ate at a buffet the previous reward. I mean, that was enough food to carry you for a couple of days, even though David said, that's more food than I eat in a lifetime. And I'm feeling I almost got sick and threw up. I'm like, dude, there's people a lot worse than that, but I understand. But he feels good. But still, at the same time, but you know what? You're kind of right in the sense that if there's one person you don't want to win, you got to throw a lot of bodies out there to try and make sure that person doesn't win. But there was two. They had two options. They had three really with Will. But I don't know. I don't think I could sit out.
Yeah.
Just for that one chance that somebody falls sideways and knocks everybody else out, and that could be the one at the end.
Yeah. Oh, well, Hannah's out first. Brett was out. Did you see how he was holding it?
I can't remember exactly how.
Both hands together.
Oh, in the middle?
Yeah. What the heck?
Oh, that's not good.
Of course. Yeah. So anyway, let's just get to the end of it. Ken, the most exciting player this season. I mean, when he speaks, I am inspired to greatness.
So you haven't been inspired lately?
No.
Because he doesn't speak.
No, but when he does speak, I'm inspired. It was sarcasm.
I got you.
Because even when he speaks, it's like, yeah, I won the immunity challenge. I got the reward necklace.
I'm telling you, watch that extra scene. He's so calm and cool.
Yeah. Derek in the chat room says, I can never set out a challenge for too many other fears. Come on, Derek. Be a man.
You know, it only takes one bite of one sandwich to the side and one, oh gosh, this is so good, for them to say, you know what? Do we really need him? We got enough people to take out these three later. Do we really need him? Because he's annoying me by eating that. He's going to be burping and
all right,
just make it a place. Okay, anyway.
Hold on. Susan Appleby's throwing shade our way. See me using some millennial talk? Throwing some shade our way in the chat room. Ken is underappreciated by these two guys. What's there to appreciate? I'm just
He's
kidding.
an athlete. His stomach is ripped. He's good in all challenges. I just don't know what he's doing because we don't hear anything from him.
That's right. Oh, he's doing well, but he said himself he's kind of socially awkward and things like that. So, and like you said, he's not getting confessionals and stuff like that. So, Susan, it's not that we don't appreciate him. We just, call it like we see it.
He's in the right place at the right time. He's standing beside Chris when Chris makes decisions and David comes up with ideas. So yeah, he's in the right place. We just don't hear anything else from him.
That's right.
Just like Sunday. Sunday finally gets to talk. We finally hear her actually start making plans so we can start appreciating somebody.
All right, back at camp. We get the back at camp dance.
Oh, and for the record, I did not underappreciate Jay because Jay is on my team. He's not on Dwayne's team, but he is on mine.
There you go. So you know what I mean by the back at camp dance?
The walk?
No, it's kind of like everybody's sitting around. Okay, who's going to talk first? Who's going to suggest we get firewood? Who's going to go to the water? Do I need to suggest the water? We get that whole awkward.
What is that? Where they size each other up.
Oh, Susan's like, I don't care if he talks. I just want to look at him. Basically, is what Susan is saying.
Now, is Susan another name for Miriam? Because I think that's what she would say.
I don't know. Her and Miriam need to have a little discussion. Anyway, so you get that, and they all end up on the beach without Will, Jay, and Taylor. So this is when they decide to split up the votes. Sunday's not happy. She talks to Brett. She wants Jess out, which again, I think this is just foundation for upcoming episode.
I agree, but they pretty much cover the basics. Split the vote, safe thing to do. Are we good with that? Is everybody good with that? Because this is the time that somebody could mess us up. When we split the vote, they could take advantage of it. And I like that Sunday goes back to Jay and confides in him, and she's honest with him, keeping that trust with Jay.
Yeah.
So
Jay tells us there's three options. I can play it on me, I can play it on Taylor, or I can not play it.
Save it for a rainy day.
The astuteness of that's just.
So, Jay, for your confessional, tell me what your options are for the idol.
And Jay's like, but that's obvious. Yeah, we know, but please do it anyway.
Explain it to us.
So they eat a lot of food, Jay and Taylor, and they conspire to take out Adam. And Adam's advantage has now become the loved one's advantage.
The two of them conspire to take out Adam against 9 other people.
Yeah. But instead of doing it before tribal council, they decide to do it at tribal council.
And when's the last time we heard of a vote changing at tribal council?
Well, it's happened more so recently, but that's not going to change it.
No.
Mm-mm. So let's get to tribal council because we got some feedback to go through.
Once again, Jay brings up something that comes back to bite him. Oh, I love this game, but I hate being on the wrong side of a blind side. And Adam, being Mr. Direct, who doesn't laugh.
I know.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
It's about time he got to taste it.
You're not the only one that's ever been on the other side of a blind side. It's just not wise use of your words, Adam. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. So Taylor lies and says Adam helped him get food. Someone will lose their loved one's See, now it's not just Adam is going to cause someone to lose their loved one visit. It has gone from Adam has an advantage to Adam is going to take your loved one's visit.
I was hoping he'd go even farther and say Adam's going to take your loved one's visit and you're going to hate him and never give him your voted on when you're on the jury. Adam's like, okay, that's proof why I'm not going to use the advantage. Taylor almost kept talking into it.
Yeah. And then Jay insults Taylor and Taylor's like, wait a second. He just insulted me. I'm not a dumb surfer, dude.
I'm a snowboarder. Come on, man. All right. So here's my one moment where I was a little perturbed at Probst.
Perturbed. Okay.
He looks at Hannah. Let's go talk to Hannah. She's hyperventilating over there at this little bomb being dropped. I didn't think it was a really big bomb being dropped because it's not like he has an idle advantage. He just has a reward advantage that he's hopefully never going to use. But he goes to Hannah and say, look, all right, what do you do in this situation? No one's going to disagree with voting out Adam because he has an advantage. As in, you all should agree that Adam's got an advantage and should be voted out for it. Or there's Taylor and Jay who both admit to eating food, even though they use the word steal. But Probst is like, look, these two happy millennial, well-built challenge beast guys, or this little guy who's got an advantage in the game. So what do you think, Hannah? Well, when you put it like that, maybe we should go
catch that. I didn't catch that, but you're right. That's one of the more obvious times that he's done that.
I didn't like that. I'm sure he didn't mean it that way. But in his little EW interview, he talks about how he loves Taylor. He doesn't know if he loves his happy-go-lucky attitude or just what about him. You gotta love the guy, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't like what he said because I rewatched it after I read that interview, and he flat out says no one will disagree with voting out Adam because he has an advantage, which is all game talk. Or you got these two guys who admit to eating some extra food.
Yeah.
It's not like they stole it. Well, yeah, Jeff, I did. I stole it. That's what I was saying earlier to my confessional. It's my best idea because I stole it. Well, no, but you're admitting. But thanks to Jessica, I'm finally glad Jessica got to speak up. She said, you're not going to get a trophy for admitting it because you did steal the food.
Right.
So I guess he's waiting for us to say, oh, we forgive you, Taylor. We love you, but we're still going to put you out, but we love you. So,
yeah. All right, let's move on. Did you notice that Brett used a phrase that sounded very policeman-like?
Culpable.
He said, who is more culpable?
And Hannah goes, that's a police term.
I've never heard a funeral director use the word culpable, but I've heard many policemen do that.
All right, Taylor goes home.
Not one of your best impressions, but I understand.
Yeah, Taylor goes home. Good episode. Fun to watch because why? Because it's Survivor.
Exactly.
Anything else before we get to our feedback?
Nope. I'm going to close this computer.
Everybody sit back. It's time for feedback. Our listeners have to say what's on their minds today. D&D will hear you. D&D will read you. D&D will take the time to take your lines, analyze, and feel you. It's feedback. Survivor Talk with D&D. Take and listen to feedback, y'all. That's right.
If I was on Survivor, this is how I would wear my buff. And I would be laughed off the island. I can't hear David talking. I'm sure he is.
Wore their buff like that, didn't they? Didn't somebody wear somebody? No, Will just put it on top of his head and it looked really tall because he's tall.
I don't know. That music was by Amy Jo McCauley. And she is one of our listeners. So
one good thing about cleaning out a room is you find things that you've lost.
What did you lose, David?
Oh, by the way, I got back my last buff from church.
Yeah.
Word got put out that they were supposed to be turned back in, and it got turned back in. So my Luzon buff, the worst tribe ever, and Brain Brawn and Beauty History. And then it was my Cagayan merge buff, the black buff.
Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't find it, and it was behind the piano. Somehow it had fallen behind the piano. I had to move that tonight.
All right. All right. Our first feedback is from Dave Holdsworth from New Jersey. He writes, "Greetings from the rolling hills of New Jersey. A few observations from this week's episode. How can you not love quirky, wide-eyed Hannah? Get her up to Maine for DWSC. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yes, yes, yes. She has a great confessional that showed her evolution as a player and a willingness to start controlling her fate instead of being a pawn for the first time. Good for her. Sadly, it was immediately followed by her being named as captain of her team for the reward challenge and picking what was the absolute worst team imaginable. I wish we could actually see these schoolyard picks as they happen. Maybe the rules for this one were, producers, Hannah, get your first pick. Hannah cutting them off by screaming, I picked Jay. Producers, okay, now then Chris, get the next 5 picks. That's funny. During the reward challenge, as the winning team was flying through the course, I thought the orange team had either fallen asleep under the netting or the producers had locked them in the net obstacle in some way. It was painful to watch. When Adam's team lost, did anyone else think that he was going to play his advantage? And I use the term loosely, and stupidly steal the reward. I really am enjoying this season, but the producer's edit has been very erratic. Sunday, who has barely spoken all season, is suddenly saying she needs to take control of her game and take out Jessica before she takes out Sunday, when the opposing alliance still has 3 people to remove. Where did that come from? If it happened, I must have missed it, but was there some brewing antagonism between Sunday and Jessica? Why would anyone, for any reason, want to target Sunday? She's the perfect final tribal goat to be sitting next to. The whole segment seemed out of place with the rest of the episode. I agree, which is why I think they only have it in there for laying groundwork. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I get it. Will is 18 and still needs to evolve as a person. But when you are in a 3-person minority and the opposing alliance is obviously gunning for you, you don't sit out immunity. Yes, you are not a surfer snowboarder, but try. You won the last individual immunity, for heaven's sake. Hear me now. If I am ever granted my wish and get the opportunity to be on Survivor or the DWSC, I will never sit out a challenge for food. You are there to play, so play. Okay, stepping off my soapbox now. Deep breath. Namaste.
That's why I want to know why he voted for Jay.
Okay.
The
whole Taylor and Adam vomiting. What? I
Keep
guess
reading.
I don't know this. The whole Taylor and Adam vomiting of secrets and throwing each other under the bus at Tribal was pretty humorous to watch and a good attempt by Taylor to divert attention from himself. But did you notice Ken's quiet look of honorable disgust during the whole exchange? He appeared disappointed at their unethical behavior, to say the least. And after the fireworks, what?
Honorable disgust.
Yes. And after the fireworks, neither Adam nor Jay played their idols. Very interesting. Adam. Poster child for Survivor rule. Don't tell anyone about your idol or advantage unless you are absolutely certain you can trust them. But despite this mistake, he survived and survived with his idol intact. That's 2 straight weeks where he was potentially at risk and left tribal with his idol still in his pocket. I believe now even more firmly that producers are setting us up for an Adam win. Wow. Probst loves players who play big and not necessarily strategically, and Adam's been doing that. And David's edit has been shifting consistently week to week. In early weeks, he was portrayed as a stooge, but recently, especially in this episode, he's become a confident voice of leadership and reason. Can you say David and Adam together in Final Tribal? Thanks, David and Dwaine, and the whole Survivor Talk with D&D community. Have a great Thanksgiving, Dave Holdsworth. Where's my applause? There it is. Oh, yeah.
All right. So then we come to Patrick Vaughn from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Dwaine and David, my thoughts for episode 9, Still Throwing Punches. I'm sorry. Another horrible title.
Yeah, I agree.
We really need to talk to those people. Number 1, I found it odd that Chris's confessional was, in his mind, gaining traction and running the majority alliance. I mean, yes, he was involved with the vote out, but it was David's idea to target Michelle. Number 2, yet another Adam and Taylor conversation that goes nowhere. They still don't trust each other, but it seems like they seem like magnets who can't leave each other alone. Number 3, that could also lead to the fact that Taylor has no relationships with anybody else other than Jay or Will.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on Taylor too, because he was so stuck to Figgy. Number 3, once again, I feel that Hannah had some great confessionals about taking her game into her hands, but also realizing that some decisions don't always work out, like the reward challenge pick'em. Good point. Number 4, the reward challenge was a major blowout and pretty embarrassing for the Orange team. So we get Sunday, Brett, Taylor, David, Chris, and Ken on the reward, and apparently Sunday is going to get a little airtime about wanting to make a move and take out Jessica. I mean, there hasn't been any evidence of Jessica trying to take out Sunday, to my recollection.
Yeah.
So this seemed odd to me. I think they are setting us up for a Jess versus Sunday tribal down the road. Well, the only thing we had on that, I think, was Sunday admitting that she voted for Jessica when Dave saved her. So I guess she's thinking she'll remember that. Number 5, I love you, Adam, but you are starting to disappoint with your gameplay. Don't ever gloat. What does that do for anyone's game? Even if you do make it further than Jay, do you expect to get his jury vote? I think not. He's starting to seem like a good person to take to the end because he wouldn't get very many votes. See, I didn't think he was gloating, but I mean,
I just think it appears as though it feels like he is because of his personality, the way he talks.
Plus, Jay wouldn't lie, you know. Number 6, at the same time, I found it ironic that Jay was annoyed that the Millennials sided with the Gen X to take out another Millennial, even though he did the same thing 2 episodes prior to my girl Michaela, and he was trying to take Adam out as well. It's okay for Jay, but not for Adam.
Touche.
Yeah, and Jay's talking about the 2 of the guys he blindsided in the first vote, Adam and Zeke, and then Hannah, who he blindsided with Michaela. Yeah, surely they wouldn't turn on Jay. Number 7, Ken wins immunity. Glad that happened, or we may not have seen much of him this episode. Good point. Number 8, splitting votes can be a risk with such a large group. But if it means Taylor could go home, let's take the risk. They once again show Sunday discussing taking Jessica out because she thinks that Jessica doesn't trust her. I know there's only so much showtime, but it doesn't appear that you have really tried to talk to her. There are only 3 females left, so it might be in your interest to at least remain friendly with her. Number 9, Tribal Council was a mess, and Taylor is the tool of a character that I've thought he was all season. I understand he was trying to save his skin, but it doesn't make me agree with it. I'm actually shocked that no idols were played, which makes me think that it may have been more of a done deal than we were led to believe. I can't see how Jay or Adam felt safe enough to just see how the votes went. Well, sounds like Jay trusts Sunday. Yeah. We did get that, and Adam trusts somebody, probably Zeke. Number 10, see you, Taylor. Your exit confessional about getting a home boy and Jay and a girlfriend and Figgy made evident that you didn't have your priorities set to win the game. Not going to miss you. Hope you're having a great week. Patrick Vaughn from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, the whole, that's okay, man. I'm going to get a sailboat and me and Figgy are going to cruise, buy a sailboat together. We'll talk about it in the Pondering Ponderosa, but he's really,
yeah.
All right,
That was-
Brian
that
from
was
Nova.
hard.
Do I?
That Ponderosa was hard to watch.
Yeah, I know.
Thank goodness Michelle was there.
Brian from Nova Scotia, Canada. Come on, admit it. Taylor did a decent job of blowing up Adam's game at Tribal. If you're going to go anyway, go out with a bang. The remaining 11. Jay is totally the bottom dweller here. He only survived by voting Taylor out. If he hadn't, I assume a tie would have forced a revote, and then Jay might have gone home.
All right, I added a note in here. Even if he hadn't voted for Taylor, Taylor still got 7 votes. He would have gotten 6. Adam would have gotten 2. Jay only had 4, thanks to Will's vote.
All right.
But so I don't think it would have been a tie, but I understand what he was saying.
All right. I suspect an idol can still be played on a revote, so likely not. Imagine how different the game would have been with Michaela not voted out and Brett voted out in her place. This was the key move of the season that changed everything. An abysmal move, downgraded from bad.
So Jay's game has gone downhill since he voted out his close friend and Michaela, and his close friend Michelle's gone, and now his game's gone downhill. What does that say about Jay?
Mm-hmm. It's that whole kingpin comment.
Yep.
The rest are 3 threes and the ultimate +1. The 8, 9, 10 slots seem to be occupied by the millennial outcasts. Adam now appears even sketchier than before, on very shaky ground, and his tribal performance was dreadful. Will made his deal with the devil to stay safe for a few more days. Why else sit out his 4th immunity challenge in 5 events? Yes,
Agree.
food was there, but he felt safe this week. Last week, panic and determination spurred his victory, but Will jumped ship and voted out Jay. Hannah is just no great threat to anyone and seems quite observant, but she's in the wrong spot in the wrong alliance at the wrong time. The 5, 6, 7 positions are clearly David, Jessica, and Ken, targeted by the suddenly hyper-visible Sunday. I always felt they were still not really connected to the other Gen X trio or trusted by them. Time didn't repair this relationship. Sunday didn't rock the boat and push her agenda, but I think if she had, Jessica would have gone home. Truly alarming is that Ken was a force in the reward challenge and obviously enjoyed the reward. He then took down the impossible, for me anyway, immunity challenge, all without saying a word or even changing expression. If his story in the game was important, we really should hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
The power trio in the 2, 3, 4 spots are clearly CBS. No, not the Survivor Network, but Chris, Brett, and Sunday. Brett has emerged with a lot of charm and some obvious game. I do recollect that he was a fun character back in episode 1 and then disappeared for ages. Clearly post-merge Gen X rules just as the Millennials did pre-merge. Now to the 1 slot. Zeke, of course. Look at all the trios above. Zeke plus Millennial Outcasts works. Zeke plus David, Jessica, Ken works. Zeke plus Chris, Brett, Sunday works. Now, it really seems silly that a dead-in-the-water player like Jay should be the next target. I suppose his idol needs to be fleshed out. I said idol hunting should not be a group activity, and Will proves it next week. But any one of the trios should want to pair up with one of the other trios and target the remaining trio. An awkward sentence, but an accurate one, I think. David, Jessica, and Ken should really court the millennial outcasts and target CBS, not the network, the players. Now, this likely needs to happen without Zeke, I think, and am not sure if that is even possible. With so many connections everywhere, can I name a few mythical sea creature? Let's see. Can I name a new mythical sea creature with multiple arms? The Zektopus. Cheers, Brian, Nova Scotia, Canada. Hoping my beloved Minnesota Vikings stop losing some weeks soon. Why couldn't I have simplified life by cheering for Green Bay all those years? Thank you, Brian.
When he talks about Zeke in that previous paragraph, he could also add Zeke and Jay and Will, because Zeke talks to everybody, and he knows how to keep the people on the bottom happy.
Yeah. Mike in our chat room correctly points out that you cannot play an idol on a revote.
Right.
So, all right. Next we have Will, the Giant Ninja.
What's up, guys? It's Will from Wonder Lake again, a.k.a. the Giant Ninja. Hey, do you remember that time when 108 years of futility was ended in extra innings of Game 7 of the World Series and the Cubs changed baseball history? Yeah, that was awesome. I haven't thought about much else for the past 2 weeks, but unlike last week, I did actually have a chance to watch Survivor this week in time to get some feedback done for D&D. So without further ado, here goes. Number 1, dear Taylor, when you came back from Tribal Council, you asked Jay, and I quote, "How many do we have now?" End quote. The fact that you asked that question and you didn't already know how many you have is exactly why you were voted out. Number 2, dear Adam, you had a conversation with Jay in the water, and Jay walked away from that conversation believing that you were taunting him, telling him he was on the bottom. Hey, wow, a Harley just drove past. No, I don't think you were taunting him. I think you answered his question. He said, "Are we on the bottom?" You said, "Yeah, you're on the bottom." But in Survivor, perception is reality. And you left him with a very, very bad perception of you, probably due much more to previous interactions than that interaction, but it's going to cost you. Number 3, dear Zeke, I am extremely impressed with you and how you keep relationships going with everyone. You had a conversation with Jay and with Will and with Taylor, and you told them, you talked about us and we and what we could do. And that's the way to do it. Even if you have zero intention of ever working with them again, you made them think that you were on their side. Kudos to you. Number 4, dear Taylor, you are good with mason jars, and you told us about it again. Listen, buddy, you are not good with mason jars. Number 1, if you were, you wouldn't store fruit with pretzels. And number 2, you would know that mason jars have screw tops. You are terrible with mason jars. Not that that really matters, but if you're going to brag about a skill, have the skill. Number 5, dear Jeff, we get it. Will's under 21. Stop mentioning it. Speaking of Will, number 6, dear other Will, apparently you're sitting out of immunity again. Wow. Stop me if you heard this one. Actually, I'm just kidding. In this particular instance, I agree with you 100%. If you have no chance of winning that immunity challenge, you should eat. But you should make sure everyone knows that the reason you're eating is not because you feel comfortable, but because you know you're not going to win. Number 7, dear Jay, as the brains behind the Triforce / Quad Force / Millennial Men, whatever you guys are at this point, you need to know that if you're going to try and blow up Adam's spot by revealing his secret, advantage in the game, that needs to happen well before Tribal Council. There is no way that an alliance of 9 is going to realign and vote Adam out if they get the information at Tribal. And you need to know that. Number 8, dear Adam, again, you need to learn to see things from other people's perspectives. I love you, Adam. I love watching you. You and Zeke and David are easily my favorite characters this entire season. But you have an inherent flaw, at least to me, that you don't see things from other people's perspectives. And from other people's perspectives, not eating the food is not a defense. At Tribal Council, you admitted that you knew that Taylor stole food. You knew that he buried food, and you didn't tell anybody about it. If that secret is going to come out, then you need to tell your tribe, your alliance, that there is food being hoarded, that it's being hidden, and y'all need to go and get it. Because when push comes to shove, when everything is revealed, the only thing they're left with is, we're out of food, but Adam could have told us. And that's on you, buddy. Number 9, dear Sunday, your plan to vote out Gen X Jessica was way, way, way too early. Now, the last we saw of it, you told Brett, and Brett said that he would go and talk to Chris about it, and we didn't hear anything else. So my suspicion is that Chris knew it was too early, and that's why Chris is not winning. Because if he won the game, we would have seen him putting a stop to that stupid plan. And finally, number 10, other Will votes not for Taylor, not for Adam, but for Jay. Wow, that is some second level thinking, because I think other Will was thinking about the fact that Jay had a hidden immunity idol. He knew that the vote split was Jay or Taylor. And so he didn't want the vote split next week to be Jay or him if Jay had a hidden immunity idol in his back pocket. Kudos to you, other Will, my namesake. I am proud. And with that, that's all I have. Later, peeps. Will at the Giant Ninja.
I agreed with something he said, but I forgot what it was.
Well, I get his point about number 10 was Will taking a shot at getting rid of Jay.
Yeah.
Which tells me he didn't know the numbers, but I understand the idea of trying to take out the guy with the idol.
Yeah.
Because he could be the default. But then again, there's Adam and there's Jessica, two other candidates now that could be the default. He had a couple good points. About Adam, you need to think from other people's point of view. That was a really good point too.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got Lori from Venice, Florida. Go ahead, David.
Hi, David Dwaine. Enjoyed last night's episode. It was satisfying to watch Taylor finally get voted out. No one played an idol, so the decision on who to vote for must have been unaffected by tribal, as crazy as it was. Jay even voted for Taylor. Oh, was it about the boys needing to throw out Adam's information before tribal, not at tribal?
No, because we already talked about that. It was something that I hadn't talked about.
All right. Sunday was finally heard from, but her plan to get rid of Jessica was too early. They need to get rid of Will and Jay first. Jay seems to have charmed his way with Sunday, so maybe he will be around longer than we think. Fortunately, Chris talked her out of going after Jessica. Love that Silent Ken won immunity. Hope his lack of confessionals is a sign that we will hear more from him later and not that he is gone soon. Lori Perleski, Venice, Florida.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have Vader Girl, Miriam.
Hello, Survivor Kings, Dwaine Stroud, and David Jones. Love you guys so much. This is Miriam, a.k.a. Vader Girl, a.k.a. the winner of a Gen X buff. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much. I'll definitely take pictures when I get it, and I just can't thank you enough. Buff from somebody from the winning team. I still think Ken or David. My original prediction was David, but I've been going with Ken. I like them both. It was a great show last night. I'm loving Survivor. I'm loving this season. Jeff Probst is a little bit pushing the millennial thing too much. No, Jeff, it's not a millennial thing, as you guys said last week. I really want everybody to give Will Wall love and hugs on social media and don't be hard on him. He did vote for Jay, I noticed. And then he's going to be betraying him, it sounds like, with his idol next week. And I just want everyone to remember he is a young man and very sensitive. And he's probably like Spencer Bledsoe, like a game bot. We love him to death. I just want to make sure we send him love. I'll probably get cut off here in a second, so I'll recall back if it doesn't do that. I also thought Taylor was really interesting. I feel like he's the new Dan Foley, and they're kind of setting him up to be like kind of mocked at the reunion, which I hope they kind of don't do, but Jeff sometimes seems to get his kicks off of that. And so maybe he'll wear a male escort shirt and Jeff will call him out, or who knows, maybe he'll say, "Not your baby," Maury Povich style. I don't know. But my predictions are Sunday probably will be the next to go, or hopefully not Gen S Jax. Because you all know I love her. I would be so upset. I love lawyers. I love smart women. I'm with Gen X Jess. You're beautiful and fabulous. Love you, girl. But I have a feeling it's between Sunday and Jess, because I think Taylor's or Jay will play his idol. It sounds like he's been outed. I don't know if Adam will or not, but I have a feeling it'll be between those guys. And it looks like Sunday got a little bit more time. So I feel like Jessica didn't get any airtime this episode. So hopefully she's staying. Love her so much. And thank you guys for all you do. I really appreciate the show, especially this time of year when a lot of us get depressed. And, it just gives us something to look forward to, a community that's supportive. I thank you guys for being family friendly and just just you guys have really been a huge distraction. Thank you guys so much. You really are keeping hope alive. You're keeping fellowship alive. You guys are doing great work. Dwaine Stroud, your songs are amazing. Your pastoring efforts are amazing too. I love David also. He's just an action figure in the making. And I could see he's like John McClane. Love him. Love you guys. You guys are just great. And I think you're so talented. I want to find an easier way to remember to shop the link with Amazon. So maybe I'll have to do a shortcut on my cell phone or something. I keep forgetting, ADHD problems. Thanks again. Happy holidays to everybody. Thank you for the love and thank you for just uplifting us. May the force be with you. Eat lots of kale, drink lots of water, and we love black cats. Bye, guys.
I have a black cat, but I don't eat kale. As is obvious.
I do not have a cat at all, which Davis wants one badly. I also do not eat kale, and I think even now John McClane has more hair than I do.
That's funny.
Thank you. I love John McClane. He's one of my favorite movie characters.
Here I am, and you are an action hero in the making, David. I don't know what that means, but
if I get on Survivor,
I see it. I have a picture in my mind of Mr. Incredible trying on his outfit.
That's so wrong, but so right.
All right, this is from Andy Westover from Cameron. What is MI? Minnesota?
Missouri?
No, Missouri's MO. I think MI is Minnesota.
Michigan?
Michigan. I bet it's Michigan.
But it's Missouri, I thought.
Cameroon. No, Missouri is MO.
It's Missouri because it's down bottom, so I wrote the wrong initials.
Oh, well, you wrote MI. Okay, Missouri. Yeah, Cameron, Missouri.
I was testing you.
Hello, D&D. I think kudos for this episode and season really need to be given to the editors. Much like the CC boot several episodes back, Taylor was the seemingly most obvious boot going into this episode. Yes, he ended up getting booted as expected, but we were kept on our toes the entire time. I don't know about you, but my mind was jumping all over the place considering all of the possibilities. First, I assumed and hoped that Jay or Taylor would go. Then Hannah started to get a bunch of confessionals with somewhat ominous quotes. Wait, no, Sunday is talking. Sunday? That can't bode well for her. But now she is talking about going after Jessica. That seems feasible. Here's Jay and Taylor eating the hidden snacks. I really hope they go. That Taylor sure is smarmy. They want to throw Adam under the bus for his advantage? After last week, I could totally buy that as an option. Proverbial shots fired at tribal council. That Taylor sure is repulsive, but it might just work. Whew. Taylor gets the boot. The end. Exhausted after reading that? That's how I felt at the end of this episode, and it was great. And all that for the obvious Taylor boot. Well crafted, CBS. The way this season is coming together, I think more unpredictable episodes are coming our way. Thanks, guys. Andy Westover, Cameron, Missouri.
Now that is Andy taking Will's advice to Adam to think about how other people would feel, because the way you don't see things coming, I think Andy wanted to throw you a proverbial bone to make you feel like you're not the only one that doesn't see things coming. That was very considerate of you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy. All right.
So that means I got to vote out Andy now because he's going to get your vote.
That's right.
Sylvia is next. Hi, Dwaine. Hi, David. Well played, Jay. Getting closer to Sunday, convincing Taylor to vote for Adam, voting with Will for Taylor, and keeping the idol. Was that sarcasm? Because I think Sunday got closer to him. And Will actually voted for Jay, but I understand your thought. Next episode, do you think the alliance will crack? It is an odd number. I have not watched the preview yet. If they do not, and neither Jay nor Will wins immunity, Hannah, Zeke, Adam, Chris, David, Ken, Jessica, Sunday, Brett are 9. So they pretty much decide who goes if neither of them play the idol and vote for each other. Jay could get info from Sunday, and if they split 5-4 with 5 on Will, Jay could save the idol once more. But it would be smarter then to put 5 on Jay to force him to play it. That's going to be the big question next week, because it comes out obviously that Jay has an idol. So whether they want to flush it or
do you think?
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Good point. That's Captain Obvious there, because let's see, 9 out of the 9.5 little quibs we saw were about
Did you hear what so-and-so said? Did you hear what so-and-so said? Did you hear what so-and-so said?
Okay. That's probably going to come up next week, I would think.
Yeah.
If Will wins immunity and Jay is saved with the idol, who do you think is going home? Do you think the majority alliance may start targeting each other? The visibility of Brett and Sunday have increased quite a lot. What do you think that is? Just less people left or foreseeing? I think both of us agree it's foreseeing what's coming. I love listening to you and the other listeners. Thank you so much for everything. Much appreciated, Sylvia.
She's awesome.
I think they'd probably go after Chris. If they want to knock out somebody strong, and if he does well in challenges, why not go after Chris? Especially if he thinks he's the leader and they think he's the leader.
Yeah. All right. It is now time for Gwen from Santa Barbara, California. Hi, D&D. It's Gwen from Santa Barbara. David, listen up.
I don't understand.
I like that.
So I'm not going to listen.
I wasn't able to watch the episode live last night, but I finally finished watching now. Are you listening, David? At
That's not
first,
in the feedback.
Oh, is it not? Oh, I'm sorry. At first, I thought this would be a boring episode, but wow, did things change quickly. It looks like my prediction that the Millennials would cannibalize each other is coming to fruition. It may not be a straight pagonging, though, due to Sunday's distrust of Jessica. I think that ultimately Taylor was voted out for 3 reasons. 1, his relationship with Jay. 2, he has shown to be good at challenges. 3, he is obviously only out for himself. R.E. Secret Stash. Another thing that was interesting about this episode was the edits, specifically of Adam, Sunday, and Hannah. Adam, he seems to be making a lot of mistakes, but is still in the game with an idol. I was surprised he didn't play it last night, but he must have been comfortable enough not to play it. I'm wondering what we didn't see in this episode. Does the fact that other people are critiquing his strategy mean that he cannot win? Sunday is no longer purple. Do you think she could be getting an under-the-radar winner's edit? No, I don't. You, David?
Not leaning that direction.
Okay. Is it too late to start showing her strategy? When players in her archetype make the merge, they often end up as losing finalists, but it would be great to see something different happen. Hannah has been compared to Aubrey this season, and I think that her visibility in the show follows a similar arc. All of a sudden, at the merge, she is getting longer strategic confessionals. She wasn't invisible in the pre-merge, so maybe there is something to her edit. It would be interesting to see the Aubrey, as she is portrayed by the editors of this season, win. I'm sure if that happens, we will see a lot of people comparing their games. Anyway, I have to run. David, are you still listening? I hope to be in the chat tonight. Wow.
Not that I was listening.
Yes.
But there is a extra scene from Jessica talking about the power alliance of Sunday, Brett, and Chris, and how Sunday would be not smart to go to the end with Chris and Brett because Chris would win.
Yeah.
So it's even Jessica thinks she would be somebody going to the end with no votes, a losing finalist.
All right. We still got some more stuff to do in the show, including giving away a buff, thanks to buffusa.com. Use our promo code SurvivorTalk33 and get 10% off your buff. In fact, when you go to Buff USA, use our link, buffusa.com/SurvivorTalk33. David, how many people are eligible for the buff giveaway today?
7.
What?
7.
7. Okay.
Oh, sorry. My phone was on the mute button. Sorry.
All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Give me a random number between 1 and 7.
It's 7.
7. Who's number 7?
That would fall to the commissioner, Andy Westover, and of our Facebook Fantasy League.
Andy Westover. Way to go, Andy. Through absolutely no strategy at all, you have won a buff. So I already have your address, but I don't know what buff you want. So go ahead and message me with your buff preference and your address so I don't have to go look it up.
So to quote what Andy would usually say, what are the odds of that?
Yeah. Actually, Andy could probably tell us the odds. So
Indeed.
anyway, there you go. Thank you, Buff USA. I think this is one of the coolest things that Buff USA does this with us.
Absolutely.
I hope we get to do it next season. And that really is probably going to be determined by how many, clicks they get into their website from us. So there you go. It is time for
You write them. We read them. iTunes reviews.
All right, we have one. It's from Miriam White. She gives us 5 stars. We just heard her feedback. So, Survivor Fan Fellowship, Family Friendly Fun is what she titled it. Love this podcast so much. Podcasters Dwaine Stroud and David Jones light up my life each week. You light
You should
up
have some
my
music
life.
playing in the background.
Yeah. You make me strong when I... Thank you. Yeah, I do feel like we should have some music in the background, but I don't have any. So thank you. They provide drama-free, positive, loving analysis week after week. We give loving analysis.
Wait till Ponderosa.
Yeah, wait till Ponderosa. With genuine chemistry, amazing voices, kindness, and joy. Impressive. The action figure and Survivor buff collection they sport. Survivor Talk further provides amazing insight and support on their Facebook group and patron exclusives. Hey, sponsors, psst, this one's worth your endorsement. I can't say enough. They've provided hope and escape for many of us. They keep it positive and fun. This is a must listen for any Survivor fan or super duper fan. I love the casual, positive, and pleasant sounding episodes. They both provide great insight into the game of Survivor. They always listen to their audience and spend time with listener feedback. Always kind. These guys truly care and represent the America that has always been great. That sounds like a political statement right there, Miriam. Way to sneak that in.
Where's the patriotic music?
Yeah. Keep them coming, guys. We love you. #winning. Making podcasting great again. No, I just added that. Thank you, Miriam. You can leave us an iTunes review and we will read it. We also appreciate them because, it lets iTunes know that y'all like us. So thank you for shopping Amazon using the links on our website, especially at Christmas time. My goodness. In fact, now if you go to our website, and this is really behind the scenes, but for those of you who really like to help us out, this is good stuff. Amazon, for their associates, not associates, but their affiliates, which I am, they've got a really good deal going right now. So on our website, you'll see, like when you go to the live page or you go to one of our episode pages, you'll see on the left, you'll see an Amazon box and it'll have stuff that you've already looked at. You know how it'll have, like, if you just recently looked at socks, you'll see like Amazon socks over there. If you click on that link and buy stuff from that, we get double the commission for the month of November.
Wow.
Yes. I like that. Making podcasting great again. I like that. Anyway, so use our Amazon links. It really is awesome. Also, if you love our show or like it and want to contribute a small amount monthly, you can even make it your Christmas present to the D&D Podcasting Foundation of Love. Become a patron. Not only do you make a huge difference in our podcast budget each month, but $2 a month or more, and you have access to our D&D extra videos when we do them. Right. But anyway, so there you go. We now have an always open D&D store, which, by the way, David, I just bought for all of my staff. I have 7 employees that work under me. I bought each one of them one of those ugly red Christmas mugs.
You're so sweet.
Yeah.
Is that the joke gift before the real gift, or is that the actual gift?
Well, that's the joke gift before the real gift. Yeah. So thank you for tuning in, sharing our show with others, subscribing on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube, and of course, iHeartRadio. We are on iHeartRadio. If you're playing the D&D Survivor Challenge on our Facebook group, the big winner this week is, David, tell us.
It's Justin also known as Jay, with 29 points.
There
I
you
love
go.
Dwayne's look as who is Justin?
Yeah, I was like, who's Justin?
The lowest score this week was a tie with Will and Zeke for only 5 points.
Wait. Ken didn't get. Oh no, because he won an immunity
He won
challenge.
immunity. He showed up,
Yeah.
got to travel with no votes, and then won immunity. I
Yeah.
really think you should put this above the closing part of the notes because I start to zone out when you go into closing.
Well, I'm sorry that
keep
I
forgetting
want
this is
people
it.
to stay.
Yeah.
I don't want people leaving during the closing part.
So yeah, and if I'm still ahead of Dwayne this week, unless
I'm
Brett
sure
wins
you're.
the whole
Yes,
thing,
you're okay.
I think
Yes.
I should be okay.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got. How about you, Dave?
Another good episode. That's it.
All right. Enjoy your week, everybody. See ya.
Happy Thanksgiving. See ya.
I'm a survivor. Devil's a liar. I'm living for the king and my soul is on fire. So if you feel me, put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. Put your hands in.
Hey. Here's some links to 2 videos. Our Stranger Things episode with Cass and my newest original song called Rise. It's a song of encouragement. Click on it, listen to it, share it. Also here, you can easily click to Survivor Talk website, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and of course, become a D&D patron. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great week.